inherent nature. Your inherent nature, the intrinsic nature within you is to love everybody equally. This is there within you. How can I know this? Just practice these two methods, and over time you can feel it. Over time you'll feel it. When you feel it, your life is very easy, right? Unnecessarily agitations arise will all stop, right? You will see things very differently. And same, how the mother sees the child. Just recently, it was a very sad thing. The young gentleman who must be in his age 23, fast, riding a bike, met an accident, and then ended up in the hospital, and then a whole lot of expenses. Holy lot of expenses just incurred within about like 13 days. Heavy expenses involved. And the son was in the ICU for 13 days and still is in hospital. And while I was continuously getting the information, the news there, the mother was 13 days sitting there in the lobby of the hospital. And the relatives, they were all coming, going, assist, they go, because they're not getting sleep there in the lobby. And everybody was encouraging mother, okay, it's fine, we are there to take care of your son, yourself. Let's go there to the guest house, you sleep there well. No. Her mind is just there, no matter what, I'll not move from this spot as long as my son does not recover. This is her thought. This amount of love. And then the son was in this vegetative state, coma state for about like 13 days. And then they started to come out of that state and started to talk. When he started to talk, he could sense that heavy expenses incurred, and then he was going through all these, the bones crushed, and the muscles, the tendons all crushed, and going through all these surgeries, the cosmetics, the muscle surgery, all these things happening, heavy expenses incurred, and then the mother, getting information from others that now he is coming back to the sense and started to talk. The mother went to see him, and the boy what is the true intention of the boy? I don't know. The son, I don't know. But from my point of view, I would say that it was done out of his, skillfulness. I don't know. This is my speculation. That the moment he saw the mother, he started to shout at the mother. Shout at the mother meaning show anger, aggression to the mother. Right? Okay. What really is the purpose? We don't know. Maybe he knows that my mother is overly worrying about me. Right? So, if he also shows the same feeling of like this, then the mother will even can go deeper into this pain. So when it shows a little bit of, as well like he does not love the mother like this, then the mother, okay, right? The mother starts to be a little more cautious. So maybe this is what is the case. What I'm saying is a mother's love. This is so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and yet this is something which we can cultivate. We may think that, okay, no, this is, I don't know who actually does it. Who actually could really feel everybody is like one's own child. That's not true. If you practice, this is something which is achievable. Everyone, each one of us, is a matter of practice. And finally, don't forget, be kind to yourself and be wise, be kind to yourself. As a part of being wise, be kind to yourself is to have the expansive maximum happiness. If you want the maximum happiness, there's no choice other than to practice bodhicitta. Right? So for your own, the selfish interests, to gain the maximum happiness, this is the way, bodhicitta. And you could feel it. The moment you feel that you start to practice it, you start feeling this love and affection towards others, right? Your earlier perceptions, your earlier outlook of other people will change. You will start to see the beauty, you will start to see the good sides of the people. It's beautiful practice. Okay, so these are the two practices. With practice, we can achieve these two, attain bodhicitta can be regenerated. Okay. On stanza 7, page 51, stanza 7. Swept up in the current of the four powerful rivers, tied by strong bonds of karma, so hard to undo, caught in the iron net of self-grasping, complete and valid by the darkness of ignorance, born and reborn in the boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the three miseries. Thinking of her mothers in this condition, generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. Okay, so these two stanzas is how to cultivate the bodhicitta. And as I told you, how to cultivate the bodhicitta, there are two methods. Detailed methods are there, and it's just a matter of, for example, say, if it takes time, then I may not be too patient to wait to experience this. Never mind. It's like, just think of this practice, just do it, even though it becomes like mechanical, it doesn't matter. Keep doing this. It is like depositing, say, like 10 shekels every day. 10 shekels every day in the bank, right? So you tell the bank, okay, every day deduct 10 shekels from my the savings and put it in the fixed deposit. Then after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it's going to be a huge amount. Do you agree with me? Right? You don't have to think about it. Just give the instruction that it happens every day. Then over time, you will have a huge accumulation. Likewise, this practice, keep doing this, and okay, I'll do this practice for like 10 minutes every day. And you keep doing these methods. One method, the sevenfold cosmic method today, and utilizing exchanging practice tomorrow. Just alternate between these two methods, and then sometimes it becomes very mechanical, no experience coming up. Sometimes goosebumps come in your body. Sometimes you feel like crying, and sometimes you just feel like, oh, wow, it's amazing, beautiful, right? And sometimes it may become so dry, no feeling there. It doesn't matter. Just keep doing this. Over time, you can feel the cumulative effect. The whole perspective, whole outlook of other people will change. Okay, just for your personal sharing was that there was one person in my life who was acutely difficult, particularly when I was very young. Okay, I don't want to give you too much clue. Right? Then you will track his biography, and then you track this person. I don't want that, right? Okay, there was one person in my life who was very, very, very difficult, particularly in my youth. Then, Wishman School, and in school, I became so aggressive towards that person, so aggressive. For some reasons, from the school, while class 9, 10, 11, 12, high school, I was thinking of becoming a physicist. Then instead of actually going to this line after high school, for some reason, the whole course of my life changed. From going to, say, the regular college, physics, I changed to philosophy and become a monk. Then in the monastery, I ended up in this practice of bodhicitta, the two methods. And then, okay, very serious, very obedient practitioner as a young boy, bodhicitta, right? And then finally, these steps, 7 steps, 9 steps, the two methods. And in the end, conclusion is, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all beings. And then may I become Buddha for the benefit of all beings. All these steps so nice. And the step 7, step 9, that part, may I become Buddha for all the beings. And suddenly in my mind, this person comes. Right? Except for this person. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all beings. Except for this person. Right? Okay. The moment I say except for this person means it's not bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means for all beings, no bias. Now there's a bias there. There's a bias there, right? Okay, these things, and over time, practicing, then I will. What am I doing? Except for this person means there's no bodhicitta, right? Intellectually, I was forcing myself. There's no bodhicitta. You have to include that person. You have to include this person. And I included. And at one point, and then this person is not just me. This person was very difficult for so many people. It's not just me. Then at a certain point, I think that it was pretty successful to some extent. Then, after several years, when I see other people meeting, my relatives, we meet, and the discussion comes around that person, difficult person, and the others, they start to backbite. The moment they backbite, I feel so uncomfortable inside, a very natural tendency, natural feeling of, oh no. Then, for no reason, not imposing myself, very naturally started to defend the person. Then later on when they all left, I was thinking, wow, I'm so happy. Now there's no animosity anymore. Instead of animosity, there's a feeling of defending the person. Wow. And then I feel that it's all because of this very unruly nature of this person, that the person's suffering now. Nobody loves this person. So feeling of compassion comes. So that is from my very limited experience. I can assure you that if you practice, it is something achievable. This is what I'm saying. I'm not claiming that I have actually the bodhicitta. That's not what I'm saying. But compassion increases. There's no guarantee that happens. To reach the level of the bodhicitta, of course, we need to practice more. And I'm keen on this. And finally, I feel happy. Whatever the case, whether this person, difficult person, right? Whether difficult person is okay, there's somebody who's defending me, whether the person feels it or not, it doesn't matter, but I feel so happy. My agitation subsides, and I feel so relaxed. I feel the beauty of this love and compassion. This is direct, I'm the direct benefactor of this practice. So likewise, each one of us, we can feel the same thing. And you can feel the expansiveness of a mind towards others. Okay. So for that matter, these two practices, and now what has been said here, stanza 7 and stanza 8, these two are to look at the page, to make it very quick, say, this bodhicitta, how do we define it? The wish to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. The wish to become fully awakened. The wish to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Right? Okay. And for that matter, this wish, how by becoming Buddha you can benefit all beings, is of course you get the three perfect qualities: perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. Perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. And how somebody can really benefit all beings, somebody can benefit somebody else, the best way by which to benefit, which is better. For example, say somebody is going through the health issues because of say financial problems, and then you always give some money. Okay, this is one way of helping the person. The other way is teaching the person how to make money. Teaching the person how to make money, right? And the person so readily learns from you how to make money, and the person is so happy that now I don't have to depend on anyone else. I know how to make money, and with this money, the person could spend money on the medical expenses and is getting cured. Okay, which of the two situations you would be happier? where every day you are giving some money, this for your medical bill, this for your food, or the other one where you give some money initially and then meanwhile you teach the skill to make money and the person learns it enthusiastically and then becomes so self-sufficient. Which will choose better for you? Tell me. Second. You're getting it? Okay, so how the second one is better? How the second one is better? Tell me.
He can help himself.
We can teach them how to help themselves. This is the wisest thing to do. We can teach. So the best way by which to benefit others is to teach. Teach the skill to help themselves. For that matter, you should be the best of the teacher. And who's the best of the teacher? The best of the teacher is somebody who's endowed with these two qualities. Perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. How these three qualities? How can you say that these three qualities make somebody the best of the teachers? Okay, one, let's say you are a school child, say class, in Israel, do you call it class 8, 9? So let's say class 9 girl or boy. And one day your father tells you that, hey, my daughter, my son, you have to study well. If you study well, I'm always there to help you. And then, after a few months, your exam is approaching. Suddenly you remember, oh, my father says that he'll help me. And you go to Father, after 1 week, it's my science exam after 1 week. Please teach me science. And what's the reply from the father? Father says that, okay, when I was in school, I always failed in science. Okay, so father could not help you. Why? Because he's lacking knowledge. So if you really want to help your child, you must be thorough in the subject. You must be thorough in the knowledge. One. Then your father said that, hey, don't worry, the next door neighbor is a professor, science professor, he'll teach you. Then you go to the next door neighbor and knock at the door. Hey girl, hey boy, what do you want? The professor comes out, said that, okay, my science exam, please teach me science. Okay, that's fine, 1,000 shekels per hour. 1,000 shekels per hour, right? Okay, he cannot help you. Why is he lacking knowledge? Why he cannot help you? He's lacking love, right? And you come to your father.
It's not for money.
yeah. Not love for the child, but love for the money. Right, that's the problem. Okay, then you go to the father. So therefore, for somebody to really help you, to teach you thoroughly, that person must have infinite love to you. Number 2. Then you go to your father and then narrate the story about the professor. The father said, don't worry. Your mother, although she's not a professor in science, but she was a topper in science when she was in school. And your mother after the work, she will come. And your mother comes at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. And you jump into the mother's lab and science exam. The mother said, please don't come close to me. I felt the stomach problem. You know, she ate some stale food. And she is going through acute pain. If your mother could not help, why? Hey, she's lacking the power. So somebody who should be very efficient in helping you must be endowed with these 3 qualities: perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. So that is the requirement. Anybody who acquires these 3 qualities, that is known as the fully awakened one, or the Buddha. Buddha is not about Buddhism. It's about somebody who is awakened fully, has perfected in these 3 qualities. Okay. Now, for that, to acquire this, to achieve this, they say the desire to become Buddha, to benefit all beings, there must be intense love for the sentient beings. Love. Not only love, wishing to help them, wishing to remove them from their suffering. For that matter, we need to know the suffering nature of the beings. You getting it? So, to cultivate this love and affection, compassion, say the bodhicitta, the ground must be the intense compassion. And compassion should have two attributes. compassion should have two attributes. Attribute one is seeing the miserable states of the sentient beings. The compassion must be directed towards the miserable state of the sentient beings, number one. Number two, as a subject, object-wise, miserable state of sentient beings, and the subject must assume a very intense love towards the beings. Intense love. If you don't love the beings, then when you see the beings suffering, you may wish more suffering. Only when there's a love, then you wish that may you be freed from suffering. So this love must be cultivated. Subject-wise, love must be cultivated. Intense love must be cultivated. And object-wise, we must see the real miseries, the plight of the miseries of the sentient beings. Two things are required to build this acute compassion. Okay, so stanzas 7 and 8. Stanzas 7 and 8, these two are taken for granted that you've already cultivated this intense love. This love, for this love to be manifested as compassion. Again, this is what I'd like to share with you. This is very important. Some of you may know this. It may be like the revision. For others, this is a very important information, knowledge. That love, difference between love, compassion, loving kindness. 3. Love, compassion, and loving kindness. 3. Love is the feeling of closeness, feeling of affinity, feeling of affection. That is the love. Feeling of affection, feeling of closeness. This is a broad umbrella. Under this umbrella, then this feeling of love, feeling of closeness, that can manifest in two different forms. One, compassion, other, loving kindness. Compassion. Compassion is the feeling of love which is characterized, or which is the broad umbrella, feeling of love, feeling of closeness, when it sees the suffering state of the beings. When you see the suffering state of the beings, what is your reaction if you love that person? What is your reaction? May you be freed from the suffering. When you see the suffering, then this feeling of closeness will manifest in the form of wishing that person to be freed from the suffering. That wish, feeling of love, wishing others to be freed from suffering, this is compassion. Feeling of love, wishing others to be endowed with happiness. When you see that your mother is healthy, good, eating good food, fine, but when you go to the neighbor's mother, and the neighbor's mother is, say, your mother always travels, always travels in the public public transportation, and very happy, okay, fine. Then you go to your friend, your neighbor friend, and then you see the mother of your neighbor friend always travels by what? Limousine car, Rolls Royce, right? And then you wish, okay, how I wish that my mother also has Rolls Royce car. You getting it? When you see that somebody who loves you so much, who you love so much, when that person is deprived of happiness, then this feeling of closeness will manifest in the form of wanting the person to be endowed with happiness. Now, one you look at from the suffering side, other look at from the happiness side. When you look from the suffering side, it manifests in the form of compassion. May you be free from suffering. Whereas when you look at from the happiness side, may you be endowed with happiness. May you have happiness. That is loving kindness. So both fall under the broad umbrella of feeling of closeness, feeling of love, of affection. Okay, so affection can manifest in the form of compassion or in the form of loving kindness, depending on the situation. Okay, we'll read again stanzas 7 and 8 tomorrow. We'll stop here. We will do the end dedication prayer with the. Okay. Okay, let us turn to page 76. Page 76 and direction prayer. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful charities say Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. This is His Holiness the Dalai Lama, praying that His Holiness lives long. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samadhi too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in best way that I may follow their perfect examples. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in the 3 times so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that is not erased and arise and grow, and may that which is arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into their enlightened state. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stations of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. And may the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find new hope, constant happiness and prosperity. Okay. Okay, let's turn to page 79, the last stanza. Page 79, last stanza. By the dependent realization on the profound suchness of appearance and emptiness, together with the force of great compassion of the 3 jewels and the power of the truth, and to the virtue of the infallible law of karmas and their fruits, may this fruitful prayer of ours be unhindered and quickly fulfilled. In all my lives, never separate from perfect gurus, enjoy the magnificent dharma by completing the qualities of the stations and the paths, may could attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, and always be guided by the Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general, and the teachings on dependent origination in particular, even in the cosmic life. Okay, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be focused more on how to see things as illusion like. Right? How many of you are excited to know that? How to see everything like illusion, how to wake up from the dream. Amazing. Okay, let's see you tomorrow. Okay, see you tomorrow.